Fanatic.com, brought to you by Patrick Eads and his staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. The last day of the You Pay What the Ford Employee Pays sale. It's a big sale. You'll save a lot of money. And they've got a year-end clearance sale going on to boot. So get on over to Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Also brought to you by Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. GT Carr and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dream Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyoke Inn and the Amanas. Streets Maintenance, doing remodeling and plumbing. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter, who still works here. Seriously, I go to Quick Star this weekend on Saturday.
Did you get the chicken?
I got chicken and I got Diet Cokes and 2 people in the store. So Suter quit.
Jesus. I can one up you.
Yeah.
A text from a buddy saying, "Hey, is it true Hawk Fanatic's done?" I got that text because he said somebody had told him they were listening to the. And
come on, folks, listen.
Hawk Fanatic is late today, and we do have a scheduling issue on Wednesday we're going to have to deal with. But the reason I'm late today is because, but actually, if I would have not forgotten my cell phone and had the left-hand turn onto Highway 6, not have just been, I've never seen it so much traffic today. Sometimes you can, the one we have to make the quick left and then right onto Sioux.
I know exactly where.
I mean, it was nonstop semis. I was literally there for 2 or 3 minutes waiting to turn left. But, I mean, he had that toilet in like 20 minutes.
What did you eat this weekend that you needed a toilet?
Well, no, it's the new toilet for the basement. It's been in there it was leaking, and I got someone moving in, and it was, I just needed to get a new toilet. And he got there at about 10 after 8, so I called you guys because I never dreamed he would get it done as quickly as he did Jimmy Street, but he did. He got it done, so I got a stand. This one, it was close to the ground. I mean, it was like it was built for tattoo. I mean, it just wasn't. I needed a new toilet because I've been there for 17 years, and it's the same toilet. Whereas upstairs, I think I'm on my 3rd or maybe 4th different one.
Wow.
Or, no, I think third. I think.
What do you do?
Yeah, really.
Well, I've been there 17 years. I mean.
Okay, but I
think I'm on my 2nd toilet upstairs in 17 years.
So is it the innards, the...
Oh, you guys still have the same toilets from like 20, 25 years ago?
Yeah, except for one, and the
okay,
one...
well, the one, I mean...
Actually,
no.
The
one,
no, what I'm saying is not that unusual. I think...
But the one started teeter-totter.
I mean, to me, to have a toilet for 15, 20 years, then you get a new one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, where you're going seems creepy.
We got new toilets put in, new comfort height toilets put in, which are...
Why do you want the same toilet for 20 years?
But they're an inch...
Well, this thing started rocking.
Well, you're not answering my question. You seem surprised that after 20 years I was getting a new toilet.
Well, how long? 2005, moved into the house. I've only had one new toilet.
Well, I moved in 2007, and
I got a new toilet because we got a new bathroom, but...
But yeah, no, it's not that unusual to change toilets.
Okay.
There you go. Toilet talk.
But
1630 KCJJ.
But yeah, Jimmy, as usual, did a great job, fairly priced, and he does have, for our listeners, if anyone out there, he's got a building that he wants to rent. 58 Commercial Court.
Okay.
By Plumbers. You mentioned, you know where that is?
Yes, I do. That's
It's
3,300
square feet. Has an office area, 0.6 acres. It's fenced in.
How old's the toilet?
I'm sure. With him, I'm sure all that stuff is top notch since that's what he does. But yeah, if anyone, obviously I didn't discuss price with him or anything. But if anyone's interested, you can get Jimmy's information off his ad. And yeah, he says he's got this building that he wants to lease. Is I guess the word he used, lease.
Yeah.
He didn't say rent. He said lease. He wants to lease it.
He put in the one toilet because the other toilet was.
But he always does quick. He's always, it
was rocking.
But see, I thought he was coming yesterday. That's bad. I mistakenly wrote down July 8th, Tuesday, and I looked out there at 10. But boom, like there at 10, after, gone by quarter till.
Wow,
that's
great.
How quickly he was in and out of there. So yeah,
he does good work.
He does, and he's fairly priced.
Oh yeah, he did.
And I'm sure this building, whatever. I mean, all right, where's 58 Commercial? Explain to me.
Well, I don't.
He said it's by Plum Supply.
Well, it is.
So where's that? I mean, just give me a general area.
Across from the airport.
Oh, okay, that area. Okay, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I know. Okay,
real close to the trailer park, whatever it's called now, Bacillus, but what it's called.
Okay,
now.
I know what you're talking about.
Iowa City Trailer Park. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
So there's a number of office spaces over there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Down on your luck, trailer park.
But yeah, he has a building that's going to be available for lease if you are interested. So I told him I'd give him that plug.
You're fine.
Right after I paid him for the toilet.
Yeah. How much did you toilet?
It's $375.
Yeah.
I mean that seems.
Well, that included installation. That's
everything.
good.
That seems pretty.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
That's not bad at all.
No.
And he said most toilets. He goes you can go. He said there's not a big difference once you pay a certain price for the toilet. The ones a little bit more aren't like it's not like the flush is any better or what. I mean,
something happened to this where I mean it would rock.
Well, it's not installed properly.
And it's not.
I mean, that seems pretty.
Well, it was installed.
Fair to say that it wasn't installed properly.
I think it was installed once properly because it just started rocking.
Maybe you were just dropping massive bombs.
Well, it could be that
it was during my radiation.
It could be that the floor beneath it was degrading.
Yeah,
that's possible too.
I hope not.
Possible.
Because it's the same floor.
Yeah.
So I hope I don't end up in the dining area, which is now our bedroom.
You're taking a dump, and all of a sudden the toilet falls into your.
That would not be good.
It would be funny, but no, it would not be.
It'd be funny. I'd die.
No, there's a good chance
I could die.
There's a good chance you would survive.
I'd be pierced with all the porcelain.
Hunter would come over and rescue you, and you'd be fine. You'd be back.
Why is Hunter rescuing me?
Because he's the one.
Because you know that Langwood
and Suter's going to be. He'll be in Czech. He'll be in. Where will you be then? Like he'll be in the Maltese or the Maldives Islands.
No.
Maldives Islands.
No, going to England and France.
England. Have you been there before?
England, yes. France, no.
I can see.
You're going to wear a little beret when you get.
I haven't heard good things about French food.
Huh?
What is something that would be something that's clearly French food?
Crepes.
Yeah. I've never had one.
What's
something else? I know on my walk there's a house on the.
Is quiche considered French?
Ugh. God. One of the streets
Jan
I walk, there's a sign, Sharon's French Cooking. Have you ever heard of it? It's right on the corner of Muscatine and I think like Rundell or something. There's just this. It's a big white house, and it's. I assume the sign's still there. I think it's Sharon's French Cooking. So I assume that's French food. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's French food? I mean, neither one of you guys seem to really know. I don't really know what would be classified as. I mean, with Italian, Mexican, you right away, and even Irish food, you can say like stew or something. But with French, I can't think of anything that comes to mind quickly.
French food.
Well, no.
French fries aren't French food.
No,
they're ours.
No, they're not.
I don't know why I don't know why they're called French fries.
Ratatouille. Okay.
Isn't that like a sausage?
No.
What is ratatouille?
I thought ratatouille was like an eggplant.
I thought it was like a Disney character.
Movie.
Yeah, I think it was.
It is. Disney movie.
Yeah.
Cassoulet.
Never.
I don't know what that is.
Bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse is soup.
Croissants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Macaroons. Crepes.
My guess is you'll be eating a lot of American food over in France. I'm sure you can get a good steak over in France.
I'm sure that.
Are you going to Paris?
Steak frites.
Those are steak fries, aren't they?
Yeah, combination of steak and French fries.
Okay.
Well,
that's there you go.
Escargot.
Snails.
Yeah.
Snails.
Do you know when Shane was little, we tried them. He just loved them.
Really? I've never tried them.
He was like 7 years old.
The thought of
and eating escargot.
You guys were feeding escargot to Shane?
Yeah.
The thought of eating that, the thought of eating snails is it's beyond me. I can't bring myself to do it.
Croissants.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good croissant.
Yeah, I do too.
So is this part of a group or just the two of you going on your own?
No, we're meeting my sister and brother-in-law and going to be in London a few days. And Take the channel to France.
Ann says ratatouille is a vegetable stew.
Yeah.
Chicken Devon.
Oh, I bet vegetable stew would be pretty good. But I'm sure you can get all.
Yeah,
I guess in Paris you could probably get street tacos.
So when the one came up to me and said, "So Suter quit," I said, "Yeah, he's pretty much sick of it." Said I already talked to the other guy.
I think I'm still here.
Yeah, well, sounds like it.
They just didn't. People don't listen.
Well, and as far as Wednesday, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can be here Wednesday because Iowa has a football press conference at 9:30. And
That's fine.
I don't have anyone to cover it, but we have Jay Neiman calling. Can you handle the Jay Neiman interview?
I imagine that I can.
I'll give you all the background information. You can ask him. Focus on the fact that he lived next to my brother when they were younger, about 25, 30 years ago out in West Des Moines. Maybe he has some horror stories to tell you about doing that. But, yeah, I might be able to get somebody, but right now it's not looking. This is our last football press conference. It's funny, though, how you got all these dates, and I've had so many overlap. I had to reschedule my colonoscopy consultation because it was for tomorrow, but I can't get out of the women's basketball press conference. But then that was just moving it back 10 days. But it's just amazing how many things fall on the same day.
What is a consultation? You just go get it.
No, you have to go, and they do the first time you did it, and then they schedule your actual procedure within the next 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, it's how. It's how I did. It's how everyone I know that's done it. You go for they go, they talk to you, they set up the date, and
they just told me, hey, you need to get one. And Go, and then they made a date, and I went and.
Maybe it just depends on who your doctor is.
Yeah, I'm getting this through Doctor. Well, I'm not even doing this through I'm just doing it through Dr. Radcliffe, the guy who did it the first time. But yeah, I remember you go. I'll go. Basically, the first time I had never had it done, so they explained to you what it involves. I'm not sure since I've done it before, but I'm going to go, and then we'll schedule. You go there, and they explain to you everything that's involved, and then you schedule it within 2 to 4 weeks. So I'll probably have it done sometime in like early to mid-August before football starts.
My doctor just said they're going to stick a camera up your ass.
I mean, how many have you had?
2.
Oh, you've only had 2? See, this will be my second.
I think I've had 3.
See,
and I'm due for another one.
Well, I had.
I've only had one. That's why I had to come back.
The camera was up there because I had, they had
was
to
it
put
a
it
Kodak?
up there. They had to put it up there for my prostate cancer to remove the.
But it's just amazing how many dates things fall on the same day. I mean, just with stuff. But yeah, we have basketball tomorrow. Then we have football on Wednesday, and then there's one more. I think there's one more basketball after that. One more men's and women's basketball press conference later in July, and this one for football tomorrow is it. And I think tomorrow we get offensive players, or Wednesday. I mean, so that'll be Granowski and I mean, we've had. It's not like this will be the first time we've had Granowski. I mean,
sure.
It was funny with the other. Recently, we were interviewing some of the same players that we interviewed in late April. I mean that because they do. They make this. I'll give Iowa credit. They do make these athletes very accessible during the summer, which wasn't always the case. And speaking of men's basketball, they got that. It was funny. I had a story ready, but then I had to go live my life. And was busy for 2 hours. Right away, he committed during that. I wasn't available. I had no one. So I was like one of the last ones. By the time I got home, I mean, some of those recruiting sites, they had tweeted it. They had broken it down. They had analyzed it, scrutinized it, and just it was everywhere. I just got a kick. And it still drove pretty good traffic on my site because a lot of people I'm sure that read it on my site don't pay to be on any of those other sites. But I just thought that was funny and it's amazing though how some people, I don't know if they just don't have anything that ever goes on in their life that pulls them away from just the moment something happens, boom. It's just amazing. I'm amazed.
It's just kind of unfortunately.
Especially with recruiting.
Social media is just brutal like that.
But don't they have, I was busy for 2 hours and I had to do stuff. And I just remember saying, okay, this kid's going to commit and joking to myself. And sure enough, when I was away from my phone and stuff, and I laughed. Sure enough, I think wasn't it Tipton Edits that announced it at 2:00?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't home, and I didn't get home until about 3:50, And I got something posted by like 7 after 4, but by that time, like I said, it was everywhere, and people were just breaking it. You know, the Hawks are back, and you know all the. I mean, it looks like a nice kid. He's a 4-star. He's a 6'8" forward.
But he is 17 years old.
And he wants to reclassify. My lead was he apparently can't wait to play for Ben McCollum because Purdue was a big target for Purdue, and so we'll see. I mean, I don't get too worked up either way about recruits anymore because we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, you have to let the process play out, and he's a young kid. He's supposed to be going into his senior year in high school.
I will say though, I could, if he can make threes, and I can see him playing next year.
Oh yeah,
if he can score. I mean it's interesting. He's 6'8". Falgaris is 6'8", 6'9".
Cooper Koch is
6'8". They got some bodies in there now, and of course the big kid from West Des Moines Valley. So they've got some size. I just think it's going to be interesting to see how well this team shoots because, again, Isaiah Howard and Cale Combs were not good three-point shooters for Drake last year. They just weren't, and I think they're both going to play a lot. And Brendan Hawson when he's shooter. In, but what are defenses going to do?
Well, they'll cover him better in the Big Ten than they did.
Well, especially if he's playing alongside Howard and Combs. It'll be interesting to see. I think how Howard and Combs shoot from the outside is going to be big. Howard's going to give you great defense. He's a really good defender from watching him. And Combs is too, but neither one shot very well from three last year. And Sturts is a good shooter, but even Sturts, if there's 2 men on him, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Drake had, what was his name? Matt Mascara, one of the few that was done. What was his name? Matt Mascara. One of their best shooters for Drake last year is not, he used up his eligibility. Right. But he was a big part of why Sturts would get open because he could really shoot. And they're going to need that. And I think it'll be interesting to see how defenses defend Sturts and Hawson both. If there's 3 other guys in there at the time that aren't considered. I mean, Cooper Koch, I think, can make threes, but he hasn't shown it at the Division I level. People are going to defend him that way. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see how this team shoots threes early in this season because –
well, they're going to have to shoot it well.
I mean, of course, you can say that all the time about three-point shooting, but like I said, I think it really makes his offense work a lot better. And the other thing is they're going to – with Iowa under Fran, you knew you were going to get, if you wanted, 25 threes a game. Yeah. So some of them I think threes under this new regime are going to be more valued and more thought out and more worked for, if that makes sense. I don't think there's going to be as much freedom to just come down and launch, if that makes sense. And so so the misses will cost a little bit more because you may not get the ball back near as soon as you did under Fran. So that was one of the mentality. If something happens, doesn't go work on offense, we'll be right back down here after we give up a basket, quick bucket on defense. But it's going to be a completely different mindset. It'll be interesting to watch. And I'm saying both of them work. Fran is you don't lead 4 teams in the NCAA tournament with not knowing how to coach and without having a system that his system works if you got the right players.
Yep.
And if you're making threes, of course. I mean, but pretty much any team now has to make threes. I mean, if you can't make threes, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. And both men and women, you're not going to win if you can't make threes.
No, that's right. I mean, you have to have an inside game to complement it.
Mm-hmm. But this Trey Thompson, I will say he does look like the kind of guy who would play for Purdue, doesn't he?
He does.
Doesn't he sort of?
And play well for Purdue.
And be fundamentally sound, maybe not incredibly athletic, but fundamentally sound. I just hope that he's I haven't seen enough to know if he's a really consistent 12 to 18-foot jump shooter. I've not seen enough of him on film yet. And to be honest, I don't break it down like a lot of my colleagues do. Have you broken down the new recruit?
I just checked you on something, and you're right.
What?
You replace toilets every 10 to 15 years.
You actually thought that needed to be checked?
I wanted to. Yes.
Well, the innards need to be.
It says you replace a toilet every 10 to 15 years.
There you go. I recommend chair height or comfort height. So 1 inch taller. That's great. Truthfully.
What are you looking at?
I'm perplexed.
Why?
That you thought
because we've had toilets in houses and I've never thought of it. The only reason I thought of it was because it was teeter-tottering. It wasn't solid on the ground anymore.
I just can't believe you looked it up.
I doubted you.
I know you did. And I mean, And I'm worth doubting. Don't get me wrong.
I was
but
wrong.
This one
I'll
was.
admit it when I'm wrong.
This one was.
I can admit it.
This was an odd hill to die on. But back to the Hawks, or do we want more toilet?
We've sort of been
more toilet talk.
staying with Hawks here.
That's all I have.
But yeah, we've got basketball, women tomorrow, and they'll make 3 or 4 players available, and we'll get probably another assistant coach.
So you'll probably get. Will you get?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think they let us know like 24 hours before the press conference. So it may be we may already have the email saying I just haven't looked yet. I wait for the drama. I let it build. But I'll see the email later. Maybe I'll see it at break to see if they've told. They usually tell you who the players are you're going to get, and then if you're going to get, like, we've already had Jan once, and I think we get her one more time at the last one, the 4th one. The women, this is going to be their 3rd one, and the men have another one. I think it's on like the 17th, and so it'll be nice. Hopefully by then, Fulgaris is back. And we
they should be done.
Yeah, we can talk to him because we haven't had a chance to talk to him, and I think he's going to be a starter. I think he's going to be a key. I mean, to me, the 3 for sure starters to me right now are Fulgaris, Sturts, and Hassan. Those would be the 3 I think will start, and then we'll see if those other 2 spots, man. You got Koch, you got Combs, you got Howard, you got Tavian Banks, and I think Manawa will also.
Manawa will
yeah,
start.
and see Tavian Banks, if he liked coming off the bench, if that's something that really fit him, maybe he'll do that here. You know, he might do that, but no, I think Manawa and Fulgaris, that gives you 6'8" and 6'9", 6'4" Housen, 6'4" Sturts. So yeah, they'll have pretty much all their starters are going to be between like 6'4" and 6'9". And so it'll be interesting. I think a lot of it's going to be interchangeable, too. I mean, play multiple positions.
Well, both the men's and women this year, they've got interesting pieces.
Yeah, they do.
That have to the coaches have to figure out how
to
best
do I think
to put
either
them
one's
together.
going to win the Big Ten? No. But I do think both of them have a chance to be decent, pretty good, especially the women. I think the women have, but I'm saying that, and they have to replace their leading scorer. Lucy, there were times after she got through her little slump where she was carrying that team at times with her offense. And it'll be interesting. I don't think they're going to have one player. What'd she average, 18?
18 or 19.
I don't think anyone's going to average that much for them this year. I could see like Stolke lead them at like 15. And that'd be fine, especially if you got another one averaging 12, another one averaging 11. I mean, I think they are going to have multiple scores. Man, a lot's going to depend on how those young centers play, too, because Hayden, she's got a year under her belt, but she
didn't really come on until
the end. So, but there's a lot of potential now. The challenge is just to turn it into performance, but that's what Jan does, and that's what they're working on now.
Well, and Chit Chat's going to have to be pretty good.
Yeah, and Chit Chat, it's going to be interesting because, of course, she's going to be able to blow past defenders. Not a great three-point shooter yet, and it will be interesting to see because teams are going to sag off her big time and dare her to make threes, and so she knows that. That's the give and take of playing offense and defense.
No, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Addie Deal.
But, hey, we got to get through football first. Football, the media day in Vegas. What's today, the 7th? Like 17 days, media day, Big Ten media day, Captain. Can you believe less than 3 weeks? It's coming. That Albany season opener is almost here.
I've already broken down their film.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait to do that.
Work and what's
I'm not sure if I'm going to. I've been doing this, who's got the advantage at each position. I've been doing that. Tyler Devine started it like 5-6 years ago, and I've been carrying it. It does okay traffic.
I actually like it.
It's a ton of work. It's annoying. And to do it for a game like Iowa-Albany, I mean, seriously. I mean, I wouldn't give them any checks. I mean, and to do it for Iowa and Massachusetts.
Well, you could have a short article.
Well, no, I may just not do it for those games. I may just have it be games like for Iowa and Iowa State, yeah. Which team has the advantage at each position? That one actually makes sense. But Iowa-Albany, I mean.
I actually like that series that you do. There you go.
I appreciate sort of hearing that, but it is hard. And it's one of those things, Devine.
It's one of your best series, I think.
Yeah. I don't.
Not the best, though.
I don't like working that hard. It's too much work, research.
No, your best is Mr. Optimist, Mr. Pessimist.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's getting to be a lot of work, too. And you.
I'm sensing a trend.
And, right after I sent out a big promo, hey, wait, make sure you follow. I'm kidding, of course. The problem with Mr. Pessimist, he can't really be as pessimist as he would like to for obvious reasons. You know, you can't,
Well, he's kind of a dick, really.
Well, he is, but he could be a worse dick.
Make him a worse.
No, we can't do that. You gotta somehow you gotta keep things sort of on an even keel. But I don't want to do too many of those either. I mean, but I try to do maybe 4 or 5 a year. I mean, if you think about that, that's about every other month. It's weird when I was thinking. I was talking to somebody about how often I go to like Sam's or order it, and I'm like, oh, I probably do it. Twice a month, and or twice a month, which doesn't sound that much, but then every other week sounds a lot more than twice a month, doesn't it? I mean, if you're ordering at the same place twice a month, that's every other week.
That's a good customer.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And that's at least, and there's 4 or 5 restaurants that I do at least, some probably an average of at least once or twice a month, but I don't I mean, I don't go out as much as you used to, and you go out some, but you guys also cook a lot too.
We do, and we've got some good restaurants real close to us.
Yeah, we do.
Krakens we hit once a week.
And I like to go to the places, and I like to go to the places that have or will continue to advertise with me. But the nice thing is that every place food-wise that has advertised, I'm not having to force the food down. It's good. It's all really good.
Well, it's the same thing with.
I wish we had a Godfather's. I wish Andy's Godfather's was here. I'd go there. I love Godfather's pizza.
I do too.
No, it's good pizza.
It really is good. But I'm going to probably try to get over there at least once before football starts to his place over in the Dallas, and I did that before the basketball game last year, and that was probably the first Godfather's I had since early 90s.
Did it bring back good memories?
Right when I bit into it, I'm like, this is Godfather's.
Yeah.
It was just that taste.
The oddest thing, we had a Godfather's in East Moline when I lived there, and my brother came in, and he was strictly kosher at that time, and he said, the only place I'll go is Godfather's. And so we get I guess because he said it was kosher, but then he got a sausage pizza.
So I'm not.
And I'm going.
I don't understand where he's coming from.
Huh?
I don't get that. That's contradictory, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
But I bet it was good.
No, pizza's always good.
Pizza is always good.
Yeah.
Had one at Monica's the other day.
No, Godfather's.
Oh yeah, theirs is good.
Godfather's pizza.
But there's bad pizza out there.
I'm saying Godfather's pizza.
I had a little 8-inch personal. Jack's has these little small ones now. Not a bad snack. I had one of those last night, and it actually filled me up. They're like 400 calories. I think they're like 8 inches, and it's actually not bad. Jack's used to be Kraft, right?
Yeah.
No, they're made by Kraft.
It's Kraft. It used to be by.
But Jack's is one of the first pizzas I ever ate that wasn't Totino's or what's the one you love? Tombstone. And a buddy of mine in college kind of introduced, because they were really big in Wisconsin. Is that where they originated from?
Yes.
And he lived on the Wisconsin. And I remember trying a Jack's pizza for the first time back in like the late 80s. And now, of course, they're one of the more common brands.
He paid me to be a mascot.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say they're okay.
Not as good as they were.
They're better than Totino's to me,
yes.
And not as good as Tombstone.
Yeah, I'd give them the edge over Tombstone, but I just can't stand Tombstone. It's like eating cardboard. Yeah, and because I ate a lot of drunken Tombstone pizzas back in the day. Seriously, you look in the refrigerator.
The pizzas were drunk, or you?
Oh, well, both. I mean, I just all we got is Tombstone. Yeah, throw it in there. You wake up the next day, you burn at the top of your mouth, your tongue, because you're eating that crappy frozen pizza piping hot because you couldn't help yourself. You remember those days?
Yeah.
You don't obviously remember those days because you never drank.
Well, I burned my mouth, though.
Well, that happens that, when you go to a pizzeria, it's so hard
to wait. Yeah. It also happens at 2:30 in the morning when you're drunk.
That's
I'm not condoning
been a while.
that. I'm not condoning that. I can't remember the last time I saw 2:30 in the morning unless I was getting up to relieve myself.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, I just don't have the staying power anymore.
Saw it last night.
You stayed up all the way till 2:30?
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. It was a rough weekend at home, and
so you didn't get any sleep last night?
Not much.
Well, man, you're holding up pretty well.
Huh?
I'm sorry to hear that.
You think?
Well,
I'm on my last nerve.
Well, I think that toilet discussion got you going a little bit. Well,
Steve has a deep interest in toilets for some reason.
Obviously.
He just doesn't want to.
Well, he obviously grows attached to them.
New ones, yeah.
You grow attached to them.
I got 3 toilets, and now I got 2 of them are new, and I got to replace the other one now.
And that other one's feeling neglected. He knows you're getting ready to replace him, and he's saying, why? I've only been here 36 years.
It's the original toilet.
Wow. The original toilet from when the house was built?
Yeah.
Well, when the house was probably built in what?
77.
Okay, mine was built in...
I think they're 67.
No, mine was built in either 79 or 72. I can't remember when that neighborhood went up.
67 or 7. I think it was 67.
So it's crazy. You're old enough to remember, okay, like Scott Boulevard was all like where I live. Was all that just like, what was that before in the 60s?
Well, when we moved into Crestview, late 50s, behind our house, that's just off Court Street.
Yeah, which is about, your Crestview's probably barely a mile from my house.
Okay, so right behind it is Terrace Road.
Yeah, I know. I walked those streets.
And it was farmland.
That was all just, so everything east of there was farmland?
Yes.
Which would include my neighborhood. There was no Scott Boulevard?
There was no Scott Boulevard.
Wow.
Okay, in the chat room, Hawk Fanatic, will it be reinstated on Spotify? It's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's up there again. I don't know why people are having trouble finding it.
And is it called Hawk Fanatic?
Yeah, he put it under. Yeah, I've had a bunch of people. Now, I will say, this month we're not going to have as many podcasts that are going to be duplicated because we have people going on vacation. The people that do the technical part. There's going to, and I've told our advertisers, I'll credit them or whatever, but this month, I just can't promise there's going to be 3, 4, 5 podcasts every week during this month. This is because like Rob's helping, because Dallas is gone. He's moving to Arizona tomorrow. Rob's going to show me how to post these podcasts after you guys send them, but he's doing it right now for me, but he's going on vacation with his family here in like 5 days. So there may be a stretch where people are going to have to go without, I apologize, but that's sometimes just the way it is. But yeah, no, we've got it back up. I don't know enough about podcasts to know why people who are used to finding it on Spotify aren't finding it now. I don't get that. I just don't understand it. I'll talk to Rob, but no, but I mean, we've had podcasts. I didn't convert any of these I didn't want to bug Rob on July 4th. So the last couple radio shows, I have not converted them to podcasts. But it's just for this month.
They're on YouTube. They're on our YouTube page.
But yeah, I had some people reaching out to me saying they're not finding them on Spotify. But no, Rob started a new account where no music, and they haven't flagged us yet. So I think we've actually survived. And because he's put up.
Give it 4 or 5 years.
Well, God, yeah, 4 or 5 years. If I'm still doing Hawkeye podcasts in 4 or 5 years, then we got problems.
Well,
will you retire it?
Well, I mean, I don't want to.
Quitting like Suter?
Suter's also 11, 12 years older than I am.
True.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I don't want to be doing this in my 70s.
Why don't you look at me and say that?
Well, when I say this, I'm talking about running a website, covering. There's a lot that goes in. There's a lot that goes into running a Hawkeye website, and I enjoy doing it now. And whatever, it's not easy. But in 11 years, do I want to? No, I don't want to be doing this in 11 years.
And yet here I am.
Well, if I'm doing this in 11 years, yikes.
I could see myself.
In 11 years. I'm not going to make it 11 years.
I could see myself doing radio more in 11. Radio, don't take this wrong. At least for me, radio is a lot easier than running a website. And you come here and you just blab your mouth.
Well, there's a little bit more to it than that.
Well,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean,
just had to look and see how many.
That's what I'm saying, though.
You have a toilet.
And what you're saying, there's more to running a website too, is what I'm saying. Sure. But see, my part of radio though is easy. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with all that nonsense you guys have to deal with. Yeah. I got enough of that with my site. Yeah.
Yeah. None of this crap is easy.
You don't think sitting here and talking?
Well, this is easy.
God, I mean,
but the rest of our jobs is not easy.
I mean, a gerbil could do this.
I wanted a talking bird.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
A talking? You mean a parrot?
Yeah.
I had a minor bird.
Okay. Whatever bird will talk.
What if they cussed and started singing and then
they do? What do?
What they
well, don't they have to hear it though before they?
Absolutely. Yeah. But there is a long line of people who are willing to teach birds swear words. Believe me.
But what if they started singing? Would Spotify crack down?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Imagine getting canceled because of a bird.
Kill the man a bird.
It starts singing like Mickey.
Okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I was going to say it's late, but I got here. I wasn't as late as I thought I was going to be.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD Florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD Florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
The Oxyoke Inn is ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect since 1940. Serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Reservations are easy at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke Inn.
In the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Super sunny today and comfortable, only slightly muggy with high temperatures rising to the upper 80s. Calm winds as a high-pressure system sits over us. We've got a low pressure moving in overnight. It'll bring us some scattered showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder early tomorrow morning. And then again, a few more could spark up again in the afternoon. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, 78 degrees.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We're back.
We are back.
Did you see my tweet this morning showing the cat on my back of my deck, which I know now I realize needs to be refinished?
Your deck does?
Well, yeah. I mean, some of it's starting to wear. But the cat's laying exactly where Lakota used to lay and survey the yard for intruders.
Must be a hot spot.
This is the cat that just showed up about a year ago. And I believe it's an outdoor cat, but that somebody takes, because it's got a collar and it's well fed and it's groomed.
Well, then it's somebody's cat.
It's somebody's cat, but it lives mostly outside. It's outside all the time, and I've seen it killing chipmunks and moles. But I just woke up this morning about 7 o'clock to see if there was any raccoon poop, and instead there was this guy sitting out there.
Raccoon poop.
And I
So do you feed him?
I've never fed him. Yeah, but that is right where Lakota used to sit. I find that funny. I mean, Lakota, if he
Sometimes they smell.
If Lakota knew that was happening, he would be going nuts if he knew there was a cat outside sitting in his spot.
Would he rip it apart?
He wouldn't catch it. The cat would fly away. Lakota could move, but I don't think he could catch a cat. Yeah. And some cats would fight. Some cats have, I mean, they got those nails in those paws. Some cats are mean. And some dogs are afraid of cats. So,
yeah, Indy had a edge, but he never went after. In fact, he loved Lily. They were.
Oh yeah, lots of times cats and dogs get along. I've seen.
They seriously were inseparable. The first 5 days that we had them, both when we got Lily, Lily put her paw directly on Indy's back, and then her and the other cat were like shocked. And then I said to Suter,
look how much this dog is shedding. Is that what they said?
Yeah. I told Suter I didn't think they'd ever get along, but then after 5 days, yeah. Well, you said it'd work out.
Well, did cats and dogs get along?
They do. Animals work out their
differences.
Stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I never had a cat to be around Buddy or Lakota or any other dogs I've ever had, so I don't know how that would have worked out.
They do work it out.
Yeah.
And they're not always the closest of friends, but there's always they work out a détente.
Well, with Buddy and Lakota, that was gradual. My nephew had Lakota, and he would bring Lakota over when he'd come to visit me, and Buddy and Lakota got acquainted that way. It wasn't just Lakota wasn't just dropped on Buddy.
Yeah.
And it kind of gradually built up. But then when I got him full time, they were already. I don't know if Buddy ever was completely enamored with Lakota, but they made it work. And I do think, like, when I'm gone, don't you think dogs enjoy being with another dog as opposed to being by themselves? Or
yeah,
I would think so. I always took satisfaction knowing when I was gone, covering the hawks, that they had each other, and my neighbors or somebody who was, if I was renting at the time, there's always somebody there to watch. But it always felt good knowing that they had each other too.
Yeah, it's like I'd come home and the dog be laying there and the two cats side by side, just as peaceful as can be. And the minute Indy would see me, take out his paw and just swat Tabby across the room. Just for no reason. Just no reason at all.
Well, to you. Indy had perfectly good reasons in his head.
Yeah, well,
I think I'm going to smack her now.
Yeah,
Boom.
Now that he's home, I'll smack.
Buddy of mine I think is it true that KCJJ is shutting down?
Yes. Today at 10.
Today at 10?
Oh, well, we're
on bonus minutes.
He's joking. Well, because obviously people have taken it, I guess, out of context.
Completely out of context.
We're shutting down? Why would they think we're shutting
down?
Well,
they're putting domino effect.
Because I'm not going to be on Saturday mornings for an hour where it equals shutting down.
The groundswell. It's the groundswell, Suter.
Yeah, they said we're just giving up on Saturdays.
Well, number one, we still do a show with the news and everything on Saturdays.
No more Hawks.
And police
bailing on the Hawks.
Listen, if something comes up, would you not come in if something big
of
comes
course. Up? And maybe it doesn't have to be on Saturday morning, but I kind of do want to do the Hawkeye selection show. The guess the football thing. Whether that be on a Saturday morning or
let's do it on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Right doesn't Hunter play good music on Sundays?
Some good music.
Some.
I turned him on, and he was playing Sgt. Pepper's when I turned it on the other day.
It's a Beatle block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was starting his old medley.
Yeah.
I don't know who he played after that.
Carly Rae's first song.
But you don't like on Sundays. You don't play stuff like that, though, do you?
No.
He did a Vic Damone retrospective.
Yeah. Jerry Vale.
Jerry Vale. Yeah, it's funny seeing all these. I'll tell you what, Oasis is packing them in.
Yeah.
And they show like these.
And they haven't got into a fight yet.
They show these guys. They look like they're 25. They look like they're bawling. They're just so overwhelmed by the press. That's just a band I never got into.
I liked a couple of their songs, but I don't know.
I just never. The only song I ever really knew was Wonderwall, and I just after a while I would. God, I can't hear this again.
And Champagne Supernova.
Yeah, that song never did anything for me.
I like it.
Wonderwall, at least kind of the first 800 million times I listened to it, at least.
Now you complain about listening to songs that long, but then you watch Andy Griffith all the time.
Well, because there's a difference between watching an episode of Andy Griffith and listening to Wonderwall for the 900th time in a week.
Same. Okay, the Gallagher Brothers.
One of them entertains me, the others don't.
I've always felt that his voice was kind of whiny.
Who?
Oasis, whoever's their singer.
Well, what about Howard Sprague on Andy Griffith?
I never liked Howard.
He never sang on Andy Griffith.
Frankly.
No,
he played
his voice was...
He bowled, he told jokes, and he ran for city council.
Yeah, I didn't like... Howard was not great.
I don't remember him singing. You're making stuff up. Fake news. Fake
you remember
news.
All the
one of them was actually on this morning.
Sprague.
Remember he had the perfect game going, and then the lights went out in the bowling alley?
I never watched it after
that. Was the colored version.
Yeah.
And then they did the other day. They played the back-to-back episodes when Barney came back. But it's just weird though that they're only playing this 165 to 66. They keep playing it over and over on TV Land. I think it's TV Land in the morning.
Well, now you got TV Land, you got
Sundance. Sundance always plays
AMC.
Yeah, it's all over the place. But TV Land in the morning from like 7 to 9 is only playing this one, that bad one. Remember, like when the Gypsies with Jamie Farr, stuff like those are bad episodes of Andy Griffith.
I never watched it. After
I haven't watched one in 50 years.
But yeah, they but yeah, Wonderwall. What did that come out like 95?
Yeah,
it was just played over and over.
Well, unfortunate hits.
Okay, but the Gallagher brothers fought, and Andy and Aunt Bee fought.
Yeah, but the Gallagher. Yeah, I don't. The Gallagher brothers. They sound like they're kind of dicks.
Yeah,
From what I've read about
they
them, they sound like they're dicks.
No,
if I'm offending somebody because they love Oasis, I apologize. But I mean, I've just read some stuff about them where they're provocative. They've done some mean thing. They're kind of mean. Yeah. At least one of them is. Which is it? Liam and Noel? Is that their names?
Yeah.
Is Liam the singer?
I think they both sing at times, don't they?
They both do.
From the video I saw them, but I'll tell you, this stadium was packed. So would Oasis fill Kinnick right now? From the crowd I saw at this thing the other day, it looks like they would.
I don't think so.
See, I think they would. I think they would, especially since it's their revival.
Yeah,
they'd have a good crowd.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, this crowd, I don't know how
40
much.
or 50.
You should Google and see what kind of crowds they're drawing. I'm just kind of curious to see what kind of arenas they're playing in. Because this one looked like it had an overflow crowd, but it may have only held like 20,000 people, too. I didn't realize they were as popular as they were.
Yeah, they were.
That Champagne Supernova, I barely had heard that song. So would you say Oasis is more popular than Green Day? Because Green Day's in the Hall of Fame.
I would put them about equal.
Is Oasis in the Hall of Fame or not because they quit 16 years ago?
They're not.
They will be at some point. Maybe this is part of it. Don't you think Oasis will be in the Hall of Fame at some point?
Yes.
I mean, they need 5 or 6 new bands every year.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm guessing now that they're doing this, I could see them putting an album out. I mean, they're like I think they're about my age, a little younger than me. I think they're between like 55 and 60, aren't they?
They're getting crowds, at least in Wales, they got a crowd of 74,500.
That's Kinnick.
Well, that's Kinnick and then some.
Yeah.
But would they draw as much in Iowa City?
Well,
as
see,
they
that's
would
the thing.
What if they promised to fight on stage in Iowa City? You think they would? I think that would help draw fans.
That would help you.
One smashes his guitar over the head of the other.
Well, that could happen.
Yeah, I don't like guitar smashing.
Who was it?
Never liked that.
What was the band that got into it? The lead was that the guy who does Lollapalooza. He got into it with his guitar player, Dave Morello or whatever.
I don't know.
Who's the guy Perry Farrell? Isn't that he got into it on stage? Yeah, he got into it on stage with his guitar player, and they had to be separated. But yeah, have you ever gone to Lollapalooza?
No.
Nor have I. You, Hunter?
I'm not a big festival guy.
I'm not either.
That's not the kind
They're
of...
going to make an estimated $450 million from this concert.
So how much of that do you think goes directly into like the Gallagher Brothers' pockets? I mean, that covers a lot of expenses going to that too, doesn't it?
A lot of expenses.
Maybe 180.
Maybe.
So yeah, think about that. It's pretty impressive. After all these years, they can get together and get that kind of money.
Well, ABBA was offered $1 billion.
Yeah, I remember
to
hearing
do a
about
tour
that.
And turned it
ABBA.
down.
ABBA, God. Every once in a while, their songs will show up on my Twitter feed. I don't know why.
Dancing Queen.
That and just nonsense.
I ended up liking ABBA a lot. I didn't at first. I resisted.
How about the hairstyle of the two guys in the band?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I liked
Fernando.
No, I didn't like any. I liked Dancing Queen. I don't know why.
Waterloo, I liked a lot.
Oh my God, I had to work in Waterloo, so that just kind of tainted
Something in the air of the night, the moon shine bright, Fernando.
Why
Jesus.
the hell do you?
Well, how do you not know ABBA? You got idiots like you like it, so I have to hear it.
I don't. I like one song, and I don't remember all. Dancing Queen. That's it.
Well, Fernando, Waterloo.
SOS.
I mean, there's at least 10 or 15 that just.
Oh yeah,
they're like Neil Diamond.
Huge hits.
Tons of hits.
Did you like Mamma Mia, Steve?
No.
That was one I saw on Twitter the other day. I laughed.
What the movie?
And these are.
The movie was great.
Yeah, I like the
But
movie.
these clips that they're showing are literally ABBA from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Stuff like this pops up on Twitter all the time now. They show them like on some variety show singing Fernando in like.
Well, there must be some reason.
Why is that popping up on my timeline?
You must be looking at ABBA.
Somebody is tormenting.
So if I tweet I hate ABBA, will that stop that?
No. You'll get more.
It will key in on ABBA, and you'll get ABBA stuff.
And I don't hate ABBA. I just don't like their music.
Hello.
When I hear those old time concerts like Elvis and back then, those ditzy girls are screaming so much. How can you hear anything?
The Beatles had that problem too, didn't they?
Well,
Did Landslide ever have that problem?
No, unfortunately, no. I would have loved to have had that problem.
Concerts I heard, all I could hear was screaming.
Well, weren't you a ditzy girl once screaming?
No, I didn't. I was never a ditzy girl screaming. I never fell for any of those people.
You never screamed at a Hawkeye sporting event, Karen?
I clapped. I don't scream.
Okay. I was just checking, seeing where we're at.
If we keep
I see
working,
too many people doing that, so I don't do it.
Okay. So if we keep working on this theme with you, are you going to end up screaming at us?
If I'm screaming, it's because somebody scared me.
Okay.
And you were talking about animals getting along. I had 2 female cats that lived with each other for 14 years, and they never liked each other. Never got along.
Sometimes.
They kept their own separate areas.
But they worked it out, and that's what they worked out. Hey, look, I don't like
they
you.
worked out. I hate you. Get out of my area and stay away.
You go over there, and I'll stay over here. But they worked it out.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yep.
There you go.
Is it supposed to be hot today?
Yes.
87.
Miserable.
And our dew points are going to
68.
hover, 68 to 70.
Miserable.
That means I work more in the house.
Yes.
Yep.
Stay out of doors.
There you go.
Okay, you guys. Well, take care.
All right. Congratulations to Hannah Stolke. Her USA team won the gold medal.
The AmeriCup. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, it's neat. And Audie Crooks played also.
From Iowa State?
Not much, but she played.
Did Hannah play a lot?
A little bit more.
Well, I mean,
than
they
Audie.
play all the players. I
Yeah,
assume,
they do.
Yeah, they split the. Okay, so yeah, nice win, and now she'll be back. I assume. I assume she'll be back for our press gathering tomorrow. She's missed the first 2, And so, yeah, it'll be nice to talk to her. She's got a lot on her shoulders this season. I think she's got to have a really good year as a power forward for this team to work right.
And if so, then she has to have that little 10 to 12-foot shot down. Or,
because you don't want to have them playing Hannah at center and Hayden and Layla Hayes sitting on the bench. I just don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't either.
You could get away. I mean, there were times when they had O'Grady and Hayden sitting on the bench last year, but O'Grady always got her minutes in rotation, and Hayden was a freshman. It's going to be different with a year under her belt. They have to play.
Yeah.
So and for them to play, Hannah has to play power forward.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I'm sure they know that. And it'll be interesting to see because they tried to have her play power forward early last season and she struggled.
But there's more at stake than that because if Hannah wants to play at the next level,
it's got to be power
forward.
Almost
power
small
forward.
At her height. She's 6'2". She's almost a small forward in the WNBA.
Almost.
So, yeah, and I do think she's got the physical skills to play in the WNBA if she can get away from the basket. If she's got to hover near the basket, she's too small.
Yeah.
It just won't happen. She's got to kind of do what Megan Gustafson did.
No,
but
exactly.
And Megan's not a great outside shooter. She's figured out a way to make it work, so we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Megan was on the bench the other night, so she's getting close to getting back, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been out for a while, and you got her. Caitlin's out, and when's the Fever's next game?
Is it Tuesday?
Well, I watched the second half of that game.
No, when is that? Yeah, this is last week.
They needed Caitlin the other day. I mean, they
did.
just ran out of offensive gas at the end of that game. And as good as the little Ari McDonald, she's not a great offensive perimeter player, and they just kind of ran out of gas on offense. It seemed
they did.
And yeah, that was a game where they needed their star guard. And to me, and I know this will sound weird, in a way, it's almost sort of like good in a way that they lost. So the stupid narrative that they're better without Caitlin can shut up. They need her back, and hopefully she'll be back here. So do we know when their next game is?
We can find out in 30 seconds.
Because they usually announce whether she plays or not about 8 to 12 hours before the game, right? Usually it's the morning of.
So my guess, they'll play tomorrow, or because they're in the midst of a homestand. My guess is they play tomorrow.
They play Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday they play the Valkyries.
Okay.
So she will have had a lot of time to rest. So we'll see.
Why would they play the Valkyries at 11 in the morning?
Probably TV. Why on a Wednesday, though?
11 in the morning?
Are you sure that's
what it says here?
What's it say the date?
Indiana, it says July the 9th.
July 9th.
Wow.
And it's from the Indiana Fevers.
Well, I remember hearing them talk about it.
They've done that at times. I've seen other games on. It's not unusual other than the fact that it's a Wednesday. But I guess it's a Wednesday.
They play Friday at 6:30 at night. But
who do they play Friday?
The Dream.
Who's the Dream? Is that Atlanta? Are they good?
Yeah.
I'm predicting that's where she's back.
What the hell would they? Why 11?
I don't know. It seems odd, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's not a great time for TV.
Maybe it's 11 p.m. That would even seem more odd. But I remember watching a WNBA game that started at noon Eastern time.
But
I thought it was
on a weekend.
I thought it was on a holiday. And Wednesday, obviously not a holiday.
No.
So yeah, that is a weird. I don't get that. I don't understand that at all. But no, I'll predict she's back for the Dream. That gives her another 5 days. If she's not back by then you do what? Do you just shut her down for the season or what?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, it is.
It's
like
a
I
kind
said,
of injury that
I watched her. On the bench, and of course, she doesn't seem to be in any pain. She's moving and what have you, but she's not doing any. I haven't seen her do any side by sides or carry any type of thing that's going to put stress on the groin. You can get away with even shooting stationary 3-pointers without
looking at different sites, and it's 11.
That is odd.
So is it
Central time.
Is it on the WNBA League Pass? Is that the TV for it?
We'll be getting home from the Iowa football press conference right about the time.
I'm finding out that the League Pass, anything that's on the League Pass is on YouTube TV. I mean,
oh yeah, I get all the WNBA. I get all that if it's on the WNBA network. Yeah, but the stuff that the last couple games the Fever played, that Paramount or what's the other thing, Amazon.
It was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, see, I don't get that. I wasn't able to watch
that. Anything at W. Yeah.
But the game the other day was like on ABC or ESPN, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the Cubs. What were the Cubs on yesterday, Hunter? That's what I thought. Yeah, I was able to watch. Cubs took it to the Cardinals, man. It was impressive.
Boy, did they.
What's impressive about the Cubs is just up and down their lineup. They got guys that go up there acting like they're going to get a hit. They're aggressive, and that always hasn't been the case. And it's fun to watch. I mean,
in that respect, they remind me of the Chris Bryant team.
They do, and I think that team had more stars, but I think this team's got better hitters 1 through 9, if that makes sense. But that team obviously had more star power and what have you, and that team also had better starting pitching. But,
yeah, they did.
But if the Cubs get one more good pitcher, man, I think they're going to win the division. They're up by, well,
they up by 5.
What are they up by, Hunter? 5. Yeah, I mean, the Brewers and the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals. They thought this was going to be a rebuilding year for St. Louis. They've actually been a pretty pleasant surprise. You know, the Brewers are definitely hanging in there. But no, barring any injuries to Kyle Tucker, they can't afford to lose him.
No.
I will am amazed. How is Ian Happ still an everyday player when he never hits 250? What does he do? And I'm asking, you watch Hunter more than I. What does Ian Happ do to always be in the starting lineup as like a 229, 230 hitter? Is he a really good defender? I know he's a good base runner, and I'm guessing he's a good teammate, but it just seems like he can never get that average above 250.
He gets his share of home runs, too,
he does. He gets like maybe somewhere between like 10 and 20 a year, doesn't he? But he's been their left fielder for years, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Pete Crow Armstrong, that's a great story. I mean, he's hitting 272 as of last night. If he can keep that average above 270, to me, that's with all the other stuff doing, that's impressive.
Is there anything we can do for you to not shut down KCJJ?
Yes, pay us more money.
What the hell?
Money.
Who said that?
Well, we were supposed to shut down at 10, but we're still going. So
it's on my messenger.
We're living on borrowed time.
Jesus Christ, people.
Phil Derricks. We're not shutting down that I know of.
We're just getting rid of the Suterman show and Hawk Fanatic.
and Captain Steve in the morning.
It's going to be nonstop Molly and Hey Lang.
Molly and the other girl, 5 a.m. KCJJ.
Till 5, Molly and Tommy from 5 to 11 every day. And an hour they talk Hawks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys got to start sending the message out. You're not going anywhere.
Well, I'm not going to say that either.
Well,
One day at a time.
I'm going to Europe for
and then how am I supposed to explain your absence?
He's absent all the time. He should be used to it. People are surprised when he's gone for 2 or 3 weeks. This has been going on for
No, never 3 weeks.
Or how long is this one? 2?
11 days, I think.
But yeah, I mean, this is nothing unusual.
Once a year.
The only thing unusual is that he's talking about ending Suterman.
Once a year?
Once a year for that long, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Vegas ones are only, those 6 or 7 trips to Vegas are just for like 5 days.
Or 4.
Or 4, yeah. And then the trips to Florida and California are never more than a week, are they?
Not even.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that I like to travel.
Oh.
But I don't.
My job as a sports writer showed me a long time ago that I hate to travel. I especially driving. I mean,
I don't have a problem driving. It's just when I get like, when was the last vacation I took? Not counting, I said.
Didn't you go out and visit your son? Didn't you go to Colorado?
Well, you were off for 5 weeks.
Didn't you go to Colorado to visit your son?
Yeah.
Did you drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just done so much driving, and it's never been my thing.
Well, people still always ask me, do you miss performing in the band? And I say no, but what I did find out that I missed was traveling.
See, and most people that's
bewildering to me.
Most people that I've interviewed say they love performing,
and
but
they hate travel.
They hate the travel.
Yeah.
No.
I just remember, they play at Purdue on Tuesday, and I got to go by myself. let's see, Lee. I just did that so many times. I-74, I can see it in and I still do. We don't travel as much as we used to, but I just have. I've talked myself out of going to Chicago 3 or 4 times this summer simply because I don't want to do the drive.
You know, but I used to be able to get in the car, and I didn't care how long it took.
See, I've never
and
been
I'd
that
get
way.
there in one, and now I can't do it. Now I'll drive for 6 hours, and I'm tired, and so I haven't.
So 6 is kind of the most you can.
That's the most.
That gets you to Indianapolis. Caitlin,
Yeah.
Go see Caitlin.
Yeah.
There you go. 5.5.
I'm sure she'd love to see me.
I'm sure she
I
would.
was able to drive down to Nashville. I can do
In
Nashville
6?
or Memphis. That's about 9 hours.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
the worst drive we ever did from the press. Because in fairness to the Press Citizen, back before it fell apart, they used to fly me to. I flew to a lot of football and basketball games, but I'm trying to think. They did make us drive one time to Miami of Ohio in 2002. Is that Athens, Ohio, I believe? And that was not fun. That was like 9.5 hours.
That's plenty.
And it was just not fun. You get back, and we left. I mean, and the press box in Athens wasn't air conditioned. It was hotter than living hell that day. Remember, I almost lost it. They had to run out the clock to win that game. The 0-2. That was Roethlisberger.
It was.
But I remember we stayed, and I remember my seat was right next to Brommelkamp's, and they had his name misspelled. They had it Todd Brommel Carr, Karr, on the nameplate. But they didn't have air. My guess is their press box probably has air conditioning now, because even Iowa didn't have air conditioning in 2002. But that day in Athens it was like the kind of days we've been having here, and it was just so we sat there. We covered the game after getting there about 8 o'clock that night on Friday, and then we just start driving home, and we made it all the way back home at about 4 or 5 in the morning Sunday after driving, and then your whole day the next day is just ruined.
It's shot.
It's just shot. You got a headache. It's just. I did that so many times, and I think that sort of did sour me on traveling.
Well, I can see that.
For the last 35 years, I've rarely traveled for pleasure. It's mostly just been work, and I think sometimes you typecast that. And I'm trying to think of the last long drive I've done for pleasure. I mean, it's been a while.
We drove out to. I mean, this had to be 10 years ago when I went out to the East Coast. Now.
You drove?
At least.
And we drove.
Yeah, see.
And
that was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah,
when I did
halfway, and it was. Oh God! It had
Well, I
to
did
be
Colorado.
when we first went to 1630. That's when we did it.
Well, so it's been
So
25 years.
Well, I did Colorado.
97 years.
I did Colorado in
Idea.
2008 when I saw Steely Dan, but I flew out there. I didn't drive, and but the hell, even that's 17 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 17 years since I
couldn't
saw
believe
Steely
it. We're
Dan.
in the Appalachians, and there's only 2 stations we could get on AM, and that was 1560, the frequency we just left out of New York, and KCJJ, and I couldn't believe it. That and we were coming in just like a local.
And that's when we had just switched to
When we just
1630.
switched to 1630.
Now in '87, I did drive from Des Moines to Chicago, spent a couple nights in Chicago, then drove from Chicago down to Longboat Key, Florida. But I was moving, and that was about a 26-hour. I remember sleeping right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, on some rest area right in the mountains. Not Nashville, Chattanooga. But that was almost 40 years ago. I'm trying to think of it's been a long time since
We took Shane to Disneyland.
You
or
drove?
Disney World. Yeah, we drove.
See, you guys have done a lot more of that than I have. Chicago, probably a drive to Chicago is the longest I've driven just for pleasure.
And that's not much of a drive anymore.
But it's enough to, like,
3 hours.
It's to get where you need to go. For me to get to Highland Parkway, it's a good 4.
Okay.
Because it's 3.5 to get to Chicago, but then to go from where you enter Chicago to get up to like the north suburbs,
Sure,
it takes forever. Lots, especially the time of day. And if you're stupid enough, when I first started doing it, I remember driving all the way into 94. Instead, you should get on to 294, which kind of takes you not as far into the you're going the same direction, but you're a little further west. I remember getting caught in some of the worst traffic ever on 94, trying to turn to get onto being literally on one of those you know those ramps that they kind of do a circle to where you. I remember one time being on one of those for like 2 hours. The traffic just didn't. And my biggest concern was that I was going to run out of gas.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever taken 94 since then during. But remember going to like the Big Ten media days, like there were downtown hotels in Chicago. There were times where you'd hit traffic out there on Congress. It'd take you 45 minutes to drive the last 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I had a job interview in Chicago, and there was a big strike, and it took me to get to the job interview. I was 3 hours late, seriously, because of the strike and all the crowd. The highway was just piled up. Lakeshore Drive was a mess. And I got there 3 hours late and sat down, and they said, well, so-and-so, JJ, already sent your tape in, so when do you want to work?
I'm trying to think of the last time I've been to Chicago.
I didn't have to even go.
Because Dallas went to the Northwestern game at Wrigley Field. I didn't cover that. It's been a while since I've been to Chicago.
Boy.
Yeah, we've pushed it back to 11. All right.
Okay, thanks. Save me some time.
Who's the birthday boy?
Dirk had a birthday not long ago.
Okay.
But yeah, no, lots of road trips.
I've been to Chicago a bunch of times.
Oh, I've been to Chicago, but I haven't been there recently. It's been a couple years since I've been to Chicago.
I love Chicago.
I do too. I mean, I just can't think of the last time I went there.
It's a toddling town.
Because I remember Dallas covered the game. When did they play Northwestern and Wrigley? Was that 2
years ago? Was it?
Yeah. See, Dallas went to that one.
Yeah.
That was the one where they kept Northwestern from. Didn't they not score a touchdown?
I think you're right.
And didn't Brendan Sullivan play in that game?
Yes.
And the Iowa offense didn't do anything. They did enough to win that game.
Did enough to win.
Yeah.
Hello.
Speaking of Chicago, I think that's the last time they're going to do the NASCAR race there.
Why?
I think that they want to go to San Diego and do a inner-city race.
Why can't they do both?
Well, schedule, and I think they also want to open up, again, the Chicagoland Speedway. I don't know why they ever closed it, but that's what I heard yesterday.
Well, maybe your information is correct,
Wow.
or maybe it isn't.
So you got the Chicagoland Speedway and KCJJ both shutting down.
Hey, wow.
You shut
I tell you what, that Chicagoland Speedway, those stairs are steep, and they go on forever. I mean, it was just incredible.
I don't like
Nope. The other thing about Caitlin is they had a video of her jumping up off the bench the other day, and she kind of winced and grabbed her leg.
Did she?
That's a growing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
and see,
growing.
I saw her do that a while
You
back,
think-
and remember, I even commented that she didn't show any pain. That's why I was so surprised. But yeah, if this, who knows?
That's a growing injury. You'd think you're fine, and then then you hit it again.
She could be done, folks.
Yep.
Well,
for the day,
Love the
for the
show.
year.
Have a good day.
God, you got KCJJ, the Chicago Speedway, and Caitlin all shutting down.
Yeah, with Suter on Saturdays.
It all started with Suter on Saturday. It was a domino
all my
effect.
fault.
Suter on Saturday.
The domino effect.
I swear to God.
Speedway.
So many things were dependent on
I
Suter.
went from here to the post office to quick. So like at 10:30, I got the quick start, and already Suter quit.
Well, we didn't even joke about Hawk
Jesus
Fanatic shutting
Christ.
down, did we?
No.
I joked about Suter's thing. I rode that thing hard. I get, but
But-
I don't know where would they draw. I mean, I had people say Hawk Fanatic, not Suterman.
Oh,
they said they heard Hawk Fanatic.
Quick start. Two of them came up to me. So Suter quit.
God almighty. People, listen.
How do you quit something you own?
It's
Seriously, Steve has explored that.
I have looked into that.
I'm starting to get into that mentality too.
Yeah, I have absolutely looked at it. I quit this place once.
But yeah, so
Packed
no.
up.
Yeah, you did.
I
Packed up his
And
desk.
I'll tell you what, if we don't do a show Wednesday, it's just going to, oh my God. So like I said, I'm going to talk to Rob, but if Rob doesn't have time to cover, plus if I have somebody else cover for me, that's just $100 out of my pocket. because I have to pay somebody to cover it for me, and I don't get $50 from Radio Iowa.
You can afford it,
and I don't get $50 from Radio Iowa for getting them quotes.
You know, when I think of because I packed up everything in a box and I took it home, and Jan goes, "What's that?" I said, "I just had it with that place. I just had it." Are you out of your mind?
Was this the 80s or 90s?
No, when we were in Coralville.
Yeah,
the 2000s.
Yeah, yeah. She goes.
Now here we are 25 years later.
Yeah.
It was 2008, I think, wasn't it?
Is that when you moved out to Coralville?
Well, we were there in 2007 through 14.
Yeah, because when I joined, you were out
15.
there.
15.
Yeah. No, it was what, when I quit? It was like 2013.
Yeah, Steve packed up a box of stuff.
And what time were you in the next day?
4.
Jan made me come back.
Yeah, right. I'm sure she did, but you would have come back. You would have come back.
I just had it.
You had it.
But again, to our listeners, if we don't have a hockey, well, we're going to have. I mean, because even if I'm not here,
I do sports. Monday through Friday.
Jay Neiman's going to be calling in at 9:30.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll
we'll have a hockey fan. It doesn't have. I don't have. Hell, there's probably some people say it's better without me, and so maybe we'll have a sampling of that on Wednesday. You know, but no, Jay Neiman's calling in. Iowa defensive coach. Talk to him, and are both of his sons still in the NFL?
I think so.
That's just.
Isn't that incredible?
Mind-boggling how long they've been in the NFL. I mean, they were both really good players at Iowa, but I didn't think they would both play in the NFL. Think about all the good linebackers that don't play in the NFL. It's incredible. All the good players.
So it's Ben Neiman and who's the
Nick.
younger Nick?
Ben and
That's
Nick.
right.
And they did. Yep. They lived next door to my brother back in like the early to mid-'90s when Jay was at Drake. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm not sure about Wednesday yet. We'll see. But yeah, we still got 3 or 4 press conferences over these next couple of weeks.
Well, those interviews are fun to do.
Yeah, they are. No, I appreciate Iowa giving us access. They do. They give us a lot of access, and it's interesting. I made a comment because I wrote about them moving the fact that they are going to do that first little step with the student section, and I wrote something, and I tweeted that this was long overdue. They should have done this a long time ago. And so it's interesting. Most of the responses were like, well, we finally have a good eight. I think a lot of Iowa fans are starting to really come around to thinking Beth was a pretty good hire. I've always thought she was. I've always thought she was. And the jury is still out, yes. But I think you can still, and I've thought about writing something. I think she's done enough to at least be encouraged. Now, we don't know if Jan Jensen's going to work, but if Jan Jensen fails, that's not on Beth to me because any AD would have hired under the circumstances.
And we don't know.
And I don't think Jan's going to fail.
And we don't know if Ben McCollum's going to work.
No. Now, if Ben McCollum fails, that's on Beth.
Yes.
Just like Licklider was on Gary Barta.
Yeah.
But no, Beth. She also hired. I know other sports don't matter, but the gymnastics hire
appears to be very good.
Very good. We'll see. Stacey May, we'll see. I mean, there's as far as hires go, the jury is still out. Now, I do think the way Beth handled the Brian Ferentz situation was proactive, was aggressive, and assertive, and showed that there is a separation between powers.
Yes. And
as powerful as Kirk is, it's not his final say.
And she was able to do the hard decision.
Yes, and I didn't necessarily agree with firing Fran. I thought he deserved another year based solely on body of work, but I did recognize the disconnect with fans, and I could be talked into what she did. And now that Fran's landed somewhere and seems pretty happy, I'm okay. I don't have as big of – I just thought Fran, just based on wins and losses, deserved another year, but there were unusual circumstances with the disconnect with attendance. Well, and Beth didn't wait. She didn't waste any time. She fired him the day after the season was over. And I think Fran knew it was coming.
The other thing is I saw a statistic that just blew my mind, that men's basketball averaged 5,500.
5,500.
And women's wrestling averaged 7,000.
That doesn't really surprise me.
No, but come on. This is Iowa basketball.
I know, but I know it's Iowa men's wrestling, but Iowa men's wrestling.
No, women's wrestling.
I know, but I'm talking Iowa men.
Uh-huh.
They're no longer a dominant power. That place is just filled to the rafters every time they wrestle.
It is.
And that's one of the, people getting a little impatient with the brands as well. They still finish in the top 5, and they packed the place. So, I mean, we'll see. Do I think the Brands they're not going to coach forever, and they've got some work to do. Do I think they're ever going to supplant Penn State during their time here? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Do you?
They might come up
they did
a few years ago.
But I don't think they're ever going. I don't think anyone.
They will never dominate again.
I don't think anyone's going to dominate Penn State as long as Cale Sanderson is still coaching there.
Yeah,
even with some of the controversy that's happening now, I just think they're in a class by themselves because of resources and because of him and just a lot of different factors.
Is there anything happening with that wrestler?
I have not kept up on that.
I haven't seen anything.
Well, he's done at Penn State. I don't know what.
I know that.
He's done. Whatever happens, it won't be him.
And he's not with their wrestling club either.
Oh, I could imagine that. No, it'll be interesting to see where he resurfaces and interesting to see how he goes about his career because that's not good.
I bet he's with WWE.
Oh, I would think he'd do. I would think he'd do Ultimate Fighting before.
It might be.
Aren't most of those WWE guys big, huge guys?
No, not anymore. You're thinking of Haystack.
But I.
No, they. I mean, some of them are.
Well, most of those wrestlers I see are usually big, massive guys.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the small guys seem like they get into the mixed martial arts type stuff. Yeah. Well, here, let's see what our wrestling source says. Because a lot of wrestlers get into that Ultimate Fighting stuff.
And now they want the military to be trained in mixed martial arts.
Okie State will supplant Penn State before Iowa.
Who said that? You?
I'm not going to say who said it. That's just somebody who follows wrestling. And I agree with that because they made a really good hire. And
they got a whole lot of money.
Whole lot of money.
So
So if the best Iowa wrestling can be as third now, I mean, as bad as that sounds based on Iowa, how do you fire that coach?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure.
How would that be if Iowa was, if our football team would?
Well, that's just it.
Second or
wrestling is put on a completely different pedestal than, and rightfully so, but it's also judged far more harshly than other sports are, which you can say it's fair or unfair. But I mean, no, the wrestling attendance is incredible.
It is.
It really is.
Loyal.
But yeah, no, the thing with Fran was attendance. I mean, I think if attendance had been somewhat normal, if they were averaging 9 or 10, I think they would have given him another year.
I do too.
I think they would have because he hadn't had a losing season. They had just won the Big Ten tournament just 3 years earlier in 22, but I just think the attendance got to be such a critical factor that they had to do something.
And 22 was a really good team.
And they got beat in the first round of the tournament. Yeah, that didn't help. So, yeah, his great season sort of backfired on him.
Yeah.
So,
no question. Anything else, boys?
I'm so glad we had this time together.
We're going to miss you, Suter.
See, now, by saying that.
Play the Carol Burnett song at the end. Or would Spotify get us for that?
Yes. Yeah.
Carol Burnett gave me permission because she knew we were shutting everything down. She reached out to me.
Should I play the Star? No, what really set off people if I played the Star Spangled Banner.
By Hendrix?
No.
Play it by Hendrix.
I'm not playing the damn Hendrix. No. I don't like it. You know I don't like it. I've said various times I don't like it.
But every time I say I don't like songs, what happens? They continue to get played.
Yes, because you don't own the station.
All right.
I got to draw the line somewhere.
And
I have to feel I'm in charge of
And unfortunately, you draw it with music. That's where you draw the line.
Just with you.
Yep, I know. All right, everybody, it's been fun.
It's been real. Been great.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss you people.
Yeah, this is tough. It's all over.
Yeah. I might be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will there be anyone here to talk to Jay Neiman on Wednesday? That's the question.
I'll be in Wednesday, yes. I'll be in tomorrow.
I have a friend that has a talking bird, and that bird will be here Wednesday.
KCJJ. Yeah. All right, well, Molly Suter is next. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather. Brought